The birth of the car, Henry Ford's revolution. In the early 1900s, the world was on the brink of change. The streets were filled with horses, carts, and wagons, and cars were still an exotic novelty for the wealthy. But one man, a determined inventor and entrepreneur named Henry Ford, would change the course of history and make the car a part of everyday life. This is the story of how Ford revolutionized the automobile industry and brought cars to the masses. The beginning of a dream. Henry Ford was born on July 30th, 1863, in Dearborn, Michigan. From a young age, he had an interest in machines. As a teenager, he would take apart and reassemble watches and engines just to understand how they worked. His fascination with mechanics grew as he got older, leading him to work at the Detroit Edison Company, where he eventually became an engineer. Ford didn't just want to build engines and machines for the wealthy. He wanted to create something that could be used by ordinary people. At the time, cars were expensive luxury items, and only the rich could afford them. Ford believed that everyone, not just the wealthy elite, should have the opportunity to own a car. This vision became his life's mission. The birth of the Model T. In 1903, Ford founded the Ford Motor Company with a clear goal in mind: to create an affordable car for the average American. At that time, cars were handcrafted, expensive, and unreliable. Ford was determined to change that. After years of trial and error, in 1908, he introduced the Model T, a car that would forever change the world. The Model T was unlike any car that had come before it. It was simple, durable, and most importantly, affordable. Ford understood that for a car to be successful, it needed to be easy to drive, maintain, and repair. The Model T fit all these requirements and more. Its sturdy design made it perfect for both city streets and rough country roads. But the real game changer wasn't just the car itself. It was how Ford made it. Instead of relying on skilled craftsmen to assemble each car by hand, Ford introduced the assembly line. The idea was simple. By using a moving assembly line, Ford could dramatically speed up production and lower the cost of each car. This innovation would go on to revolutionize manufacturing around the world. The assembly line revolution. Before Ford's assembly line, it took a team of workers days to build a single car. Each worker would perform a specific task, and the car would move from one station to the next. Ford's genius was in realizing that by organizing the production process, he could make cars faster and cheaper. In 1913, Ford introduced the first moving assembly line at his factory in Highland Park, Michigan. This was a breakthrough moment in industrial history. With the assembly line, the time it took to assemble a car dropped from over 12 hours to just 93 minutes. This was a monumental achievement, and it allowed Ford to produce cars at an unprecedented rate. Thanks to the assembly line, Ford was able to lower the price of the Model T. When the car was first introduced, it cost around $850, a hefty price for most Americans. By 1914, thanks to the efficiencies of the assembly line, Ford was able to reduce the price to just $360, making the car affordable to a much larger segment of the population. Over the next several years, Ford sold more than 15 million Model Ts, and the car became a symbol of American progress and innovation. A new era of transportation. Ford's success with the Model T didn't just change the way cars were made, it changed the way people lived. The car became an essential part of American life, and it opened up new opportunities for millions of people. Suddenly, families could travel long distances with ease, workers could commute to jobs in cities, and rural communities were no longer isolated. The success of the Model T also had a profound effect on the economy. As car ownership grew, so did the demand for roads, gas stations, and repair shops. New industries were born, and thousands of jobs were created. Ford's vision had not only created a new way of life, it had transformed the entire country. Ford's legacy. Henry Ford's contributions to the automobile industry didn't stop with the Model T. He continued to innovate throughout his life, introducing new models and pushing the boundaries of manufacturing technology. Ford was one of the first to implement the 5-day, 40-hour work week, recognizing that workers would be more productive if they had more time to enjoy the products they were building. Ford's impact on the world of transportation and industry is immeasurable. He not only made cars affordable for the average person, but he also revolutionized the way things were made, paving the way for mass production in many other industries. Today, Ford Motor Company is still one of the largest and most successful automakers in the world, and the legacy of Henry Ford's vision live